Hey everybody, Pete here. And today on Look Back Last, we're going to be looking back at one of my biggest influences for being a comedian, the late great Chris Farley, on today's episode of Look Back Last. Welcome to Look Back Laughs. I'm Pete Zedlacher. You know me. I've been around. I'm a Canadian stand-up comic. I've been doing it for 24 years. If you've seen the video, you know who I am. And here on Look Back Laughs, we look back at some of the comedy that's inspired me to get into comedy myself. And for these episodes, I'm joined by my buddy, Scott. Hey, Scott. How's it going today?
It's going pretty good. How's things?
That's good. Scott's in Korea. And this is amazing technology, by the way. I love that we can just chat on either side of the planet and make a TV show. Like when we were growing up in Wawa, did you ever think that we were going to be making a TV show on opposite ends of the planet? It's remarkable to me. So in this episode, we're going to look back at one of my absolute favorites, the late, great Chris Farley. And we're going to start with Scott giving us a little history lesson.
Christopher Crosby Farley was born in Madison, Wisconsin in 1964. He had three brothers and a sister who all grew up Roman Catholic, and Chris Farley was known to always attend Mass on a regular basis, even into his adulthood. Farley graduated with a double major in communications and theater in 1986 and eventually made his way to Chicago and became a main stage performer at Second City in 1989. Farley had found his love for comedy, improv, and performing on stage, and his talent began to shine. Later that year, he auditioned for Saturday Night Live and was announced as a new cast member for the 1990 season. This was a pivotal season for SNL, with Farley joining the cast along with new cast members Tim Meadows, Chris Rock, David Spade, and Adam Sandler, who all went on to become known as the Bad Boys of SNL. Farley created some iconic characters over his 5 seasons on SNL, including the motivational speaker Matt Foley, Bennett Brower on Weekend Update, Cindy, one of the Gap Girls, a Chippendales dancer along with Patrick Swayze, Lunch Lady for the Adam Sandler song of the same name, and of course his very own show, The Chris Farley Show. With his success on SNL, Farley appeared in several SNL movies, including Coneheads and both the Wayne's World movies. After his SNL career, Farley went on to star in his own movies Tommy Boy, released in 1995, Black Sheep, released in 1996, and The Beverly Hills Ninja, which came out in 1997. Farley was known for being over the top and carried with him his bad boy reputation both on set and off while a member of Saturday Night Live, and was released from SNL in 1995. Sadly, Farley's party attitude and energy that he always brought caught up with him, and he died at the age of 33 in December of 1997 due to a drug overdose. Chris Farley had a lot more to give, and he always gave it his all to make us all laugh. He was originally cast to voice the lead character of Shrek in the Shrek movies, and reportedly had finished up to 95% of the voice recordings for the movie. Unfortunately, due to his passing, Shrek was recast, and the role was given to fellow SNL cast member Mike Myers. So now that we've learned a little about Chris Farley, it's time in this episode where we look back, react, and review some of Chris Farley's past work.
This is great. It's a great way to kick off this episode. That's perfect.
Yeah. Paul McCartney.
Welcome to the Chris Farley Show. I'm Chris. Rock musicians. God, I'm an idiot. I never know how to start these things.
You're doing great, Chris.
You remember when you were with the Beatles? That was awesome.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Hey, you're doing great, Scott. You're doing great.
Remember when you went to Japan? For being on the show. God dang it! I screwed that up.
You did fine, Chris.
It's been so long since I've seen that clip. That's perfect way to kick off the episode. That's they say, like his friends and family, they say that that was the closest you got to see Chris Farley is when he was doing the Chris Farley show, because that character he was playing was really true to who the real Chris Farley was. Like, it was the awkward kid that didn't know if he was fitting in, and always so hard on himself, and then of course he would just disguise himself as this big overgrown maniac, these characters that he would do afterwards. But they say, like, the Chris Farley show was the real Chris Farley, so that's a perfect way to kick it off. Yeah, and perfect at Paul McCartney. Like, those setups and those questions are like, do you remember the Beatles? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, again, it kind of reminds me of myself doing interviews, like, for stuff I do here. And
you're doing great.
regardless.
You're doing great.
Yeah, but I just mean, it's
you're
kind
doing
of
great.
funny.
Yeah, of course.
Every question for me starts off, do you remember when?
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Remember when we did the Christmas assembly?
It goes with this show, I guess.
It sure does, yeah.
Because
Look back. That's exactly what we're doing here. Yeah, do you remember? So that's great. That's a great way to kick it off. The real Chris Farley right there on the Chris Farley show.
Decaffeinated coffee crystals.
What?
I said you're drinking Colombian decaf coffee crystals.
What? You son of a bitch.
The cook is just smashing bottles over his head. No reaction to it. Right.
How do you feel about your experience on Hidden Camera?
Angry.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since it probably originally aired. I just remember it was like a Folgers coffee commercial, and it was they switched out the coffee crystals with or the real coffee with. That was the spoof of it back in the day. It was a series of commercials where they would go up to people in a restaurant and say, "Are you enjoying your coffee?" And they say, "Yeah." And they say, "Well, you're not drinking brewed coffee. This is Folgers instant crystals." And people, oh, that's really. So that's the take on that was. This guy lost his mind when he found out that he was having some kind of crystallized coffee.
Yeah, he was definitely good at that, playing that type of character.
I really
loved the chef in the background.
just smashing
bottles, nothing happening, and then he had the frying pan at the end.
Yeah, that's how they finally brought him down with the frying pan.
Rubber frying pan.
It was over the top. That's perfect. That's a perfect way to set this whole episode up, is the real Chris Farley and the Chris Farley show, and then this beyond over the top, insane, Godzilla of a character coming through the TV. I think that might have been the first sketch that I saw Chris Farley in, and boy, did that light up my 14-year-old eyeballs. Like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So fun. So fun.
I'm stoned. Been a little too much time puking off balconies.
It's great.
This town doesn't even know what's about to happen. I just want you to know that as long as I'm around, I'm gonna bust my butt to make sure that every last one of you always has a job. You can put 6 packs of soda in here? I better not.
Julie's.
Was it? Was that Jilly's?
The whole car's here. You're never gonna believe I wasn't drinking. Oh my God, it's a police report. My head's about to explode.
Oh my God, I want to see this movie. I really wish they made this.
Boy, did I screw up. The town's going under and I'm out of a job.
Yeah, whoever cut that together did a fantastic job. That's
yeah, it was a popular clip a few years back.
I hadn't
obviously
seen that.
when the whole scandal came out with Rob Ford.
Well, the Rob Ford scandal hit. That was almost within seconds. People were saying like, "Oh, we miss Chris Farley. Like he would be crushing this on SNL right now during the whole Rob Ford scandal and the crack smoking and the mayor of the 5th largest city in North America is caught smoking crack, and he was of course Chris Farley would have been perfect casting.
Right, I picked that clip just to kind of sum up some of Farley's movies too, because they're just clips of I think
that
like
was clips from
Black Sheep and not sure what else, but
yeah.
Instead of going through his whole movie catalog,
right,
just a little quicker this way, and it was funny.
It sure was. Whoever made that they did a bang up job, because that was. I said halfway through that, I'm like, I want to see this movie. Like they would have 100%. They would have made a Rob Ford movie with Chris Farley. That would have been
the Ford family. The Ford family were pretty interesting themselves. The father Rob Ford, and
yeah.
Now the premier of Ontario, his brother.
Right. I did a show. It was St. Patrick's Day daytime, so it was like a luncheon show that I did. It was a fundraiser for firefighters, and I'm getting ready to go on, and it was like a black tie affair kind of deal. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, Rob Ford's here, and Doug Ford's here, and the chief of police is here. And so Rob Ford went on right before me, and then he walked off stage and walked past me, and I said, "Are you going to stick around and see the comedy show, Mr. Mayor?" And he said, "Yeah, thanks for having me." I was like, what? Is he wasted? Like, literally, is he wasted? It was noon. And then as the story broke, it was St. Patrick's Day. He had been on a bender for a couple of days, and he was doing cocaine in the back of a bar on St. Patrick's Day night. So later that night, he went downtown Toronto and went on a complete bender. So when the story broke, they said, was Rob Ford on crack? And I was like, he was on something at noon on St. Patrick's Day. So I saw it firsthand. And his back was the size of like a Mack truck. Like you couldn't get over how big that guy was. And I've met Chris Farley and I've met Rob Ford. So I wonder I bet you there's not a lot of crossover in that Venn diagram. I think I might be one of the few people that have met Chris Farley and Rob Ford. Wow, come to think of it, that's pretty funny.
This is the great house sitting deal you found.
I know exactly what this is.
Just wait till you see the pool.
Oh, great clip, man. This is great.
Water?
Come on.
If you've
you've got a big thirst and you're gay, reach for a cold, tall bottle of Schmitts Gay.
That's Phil Hartman right there.
Yeah.
Baby Adam Sandler too. Damn, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
I remembered when that first aired. It was obviously it's one of SNL's comedy or commercial parodies.
That's right. Yeah.
But that one gave me a laugh for a few weeks there back in
Saturday Night Live has
would have been 89 maybe.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They have like a standard kind of thing they do. They do like the opening sketch, then there's the opening monologue, and then it goes right to that first commercial. And those commercials are always, man, that's some of the early beginnings of me wanting to be a comedian. It's just any kind of a spoof of a commercial or something pop culture would really catch my eye. And obviously those commercials from the 80s were all, like frat boys going out and, oh my God, chasing girls and bikini girls. And Spuds McKenzie was like the ladies' man, but he was a dog. It was a bizarre time for beer commercials in the 80s. So they sent it up really well with Schmitts Gay, if you're gay and you like beer.
Yeah, him and Adam Sandler, obviously, they did a lot of stuff together, and there's a lot to choose from. So I just thought I would throw that in there to show. They had a special relationship. They both started around the same time.
That's exactly it.
On SNL. So
yeah. That was the era when I was living in New York, and you came down to visit me. We went down to a taping that. I used to hang out in front of Saturday Night Live and talk to the cast members, and got to meet Chris Farley, got his autograph. I searched my house today. I could not find my autograph book. I was going to bring it out for this taping, but it's on my Facebook. I put a photo of Chris Farley's autograph to Peter, Chris Farley. He was huge, larger than life guy. Like, he was a little shorter than me, but and I hate when people say this, but there was like an aura of energy around that guy. Like, he walked into the room and all eyes were just boom. And he wasn't super famous. Like, he was around that era, he was making waves at SNL, and people were, thinking he was going to go on to bigger and better things and become a celebrity. But man, all eyes were on him because he shone bright. He was there was a physical aura around that guy. Like, he commanded attention just by walking into the room.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets of that trip to New York for me, when we went to NBC, we had just gone in and we decided to go up to whatever floor it was, to wait for the tickets type thing.
Right.
And came back down to catch some of the cast coming out. And while we went up, we had just missed Chris Farley. Oh, yeah? Okay. And he was a guy I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
But it all worked out well in the end, and I'm sure we'll get into that some other time. But
yeah, there's some video footage of us hanging out and talking to the cast members. Hey, so maybe in a future episode we'll unearth some of that footage and we can show that here.
Right. But him and Adam Sandler had a special relationship.
They sure did, yeah. So
bring that up.
Sandler's newest special, 100% Fresh. He ends the show with the Chris Farley song. And as soon as it started, man, the waterworks started right away, because I missed that guy. Like, we were really robbed of again all that entertainment that he could have given us over these years. Like that Rob Ford video. Like, that's one example of something that he would have absolutely crushed that. Like, he would have, man, that would have been fun. Yeah, obviously this is set up, right? That's an actor in there. But,
hope so, yeah.
Man, it's really well done. He puts them in a dumpster, if I remember. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, the cartwheel. Yeah, my God. You can see he just electrified that whole Ed Sullivan Theater. Right?
All right.
Everyone's on their feet. And now he's going to put on his mic.
Or fix it anyway.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let me do that. You busted your microphone.
holidays were brutal.
That right there, sir, enjoy this, was the finest entrance a guest has ever made.
Agreed. Yeah. He crushed that entrance.
Congratulations. you let me know when you're ready to talk. God, for a second.
Yeah, he's a limber dude, you know?
Yeah.
For a big man. You get right down on the floor.
Broke the stage there.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
busted, Chris. You busted the set. Look at this. Look at this. He actually moves the thing.
He's trying to put it back together.
There, thank you.
Man, it was just a wrecking ball of comedy, hey? Oh.
It's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that he played hockey either. Yeah. He's from Wisconsin, if I remember correctly, right? Oh, Winter State.
You know, we should get somebody down here to give these a crack with the steam because
Damn, there's so much to unpack on that one. There's so much that influenced me there. There's David Letterman. There's Chris Farley. That's the Ed Sullivan Theater. When I lived in New York, I used to rollerblade every morning, and I'd rollerblade right around the Ed Sullivan Theater, dreaming that one day I'd be performing on that stage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great memories of living in New York, and man, what an entrance, hey?
Yeah.
Like every person in that theater was on their feet applauding him. Like 100% effort. Like he did not phone it in. There was never a phoned in performance out of Chris Farley. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think he did that with everything he did on camera. Every time the camera clicked record, he was always that. He's definitely, I would say, probably whatever you call that, like a hyper child, and just had that
maybe
natural,
yeah, he definitely had he had an urge to make people laugh. Like that was his raison d'etre, I guess would be like the fancy term for it. But like the reason that he wanted to live was just to live to make people laugh, and at any cost, at literally any cost. And yeah, beyond over the top, committed to comedy. That's for sure. Again, it's just a tinge of sadness watching these, you know, like it's just that ball of energy is just flashed so hard and then and faded. So we missed out on so much out of Chris Farley. Yeah, of course we got to show this clip. Of course.
Retire them both?
no.
It's definitely one of my favorite sketches.
For sure, right? Maybe Mike Myers there too, right?
That I hate.
Yep.
And late great Jan Hooks.
Victoria Jackson walking around.
Yeah. What a laugh here.
Barney?
I forgot this lover boy. There's so much Canadian. There's so much Canadiana happening here. Yeah.
I was gonna bring that up, but
Yeah. My buddy's a lover boy. Yeah.
little butt crack action going.
Yeah. I think it's got to be intentional.
On. All right.
It's amazing moves, man. Like that's for a very big man. He's very. Look at him. It's amazing.
Oh, that's okay, Adrian.
Patrick Swayze was so good too.
Barney, we
Yeah,
all
he's
agree
great in the
that your
sketch.
dancing was
Another one gone too early.
Right.
You know?
very sexy. No, Barney. No, Barney. We've made our decision.
Wow, well done. Yeah, and rest in peace, Patrick Swayze too.
Right. As you pointed out, there's out of the 5 of them in that skit, 3 of them are gone.
That's right. Jan Hooks is gone. Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley. My God, that's heartbreaking to think about. But boy, that sketch exploded. That was that they talk about moments like that. Just it resonated out like immediately. Everyone knew who Chris Farley was after that.
Yeah.
Everyone was. Have you seen SNL? Have you seen this guy? Have you all of a sudden all eyes were on that show again because Chris Farley just knocked it out of the park on that sketch. That's the one everyone talks about. That broken, like just he went through the stratosphere after that.
Yeah, like going back to the first episode we did of this with John Belushi, it's like his Joe Cocker moment.
That's right. Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities between these two. So
absolutely. That's so like the first episode you mentioned, like we did John Belushi, and John Belushi was the previous generation to us, and Farley was the guy that got on SNL, and all of a sudden now we had someone in our own generation that was knocking it out of the park like that. So it's perfect that we did Belushi and then Farley because sorry, I knocked the camera there. But it's perfect because Farley just was the John Belushi fan that I was, looking back at those early sketches. He's the guy that got Chris Farley into comedy, and those guys certainly inspired me to follow my dreams of becoming a comedian. Oh boy. I think we kind of might have touched on it a little bit, but I think Chris Farley's inspiration for getting into comedy was John Belushi, and my inspiration obviously was John Belushi and Chris Farley. So he was of that generation that got to follow in Belushi's footsteps, and so he was the guy that our generation looked at as, oh my God, we've got our own Belushi now. How did he affect my comedy? My God, I think, and again, from watching these videos, you kind of look with a little more wiser eyes. I can actually see that how committed he was to his characters and how much dedication he had to getting a laugh, and the absolute fearlessness that he had. That was those are the lessons that I'm taking away from watching these clips today. Is that's that Chippendale sketch. Imagine like you're going to be, he's got to be 100 pounds overweight, and he's going to be dancing around in a Chippendales outfit, shirtless in front of 40 million people on NBC. Like that is fearlessness. That is commitment to getting a laugh. And I think I'd like to think that I try to do that in my stand-up too. Is go out there and just be as fearless as I can, and then commit absolutely to the bit, and try to find that truth to the humor. So I think that's where he's inspired me. The physical humor, obviously, I try to get as physical as I can in my stand-up, and I've done a Chris Farley impression, doing Rob Ford in the Halifax Comedy Festival appearance that I did a few years back. So Chris Farley is a direct influence of my comedy, and man, I miss him. I miss that guy. So thanks so much for checking out the video. And if you liked it, please, and like to see more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification button so you find out when we put new content up. Leave us a like on this video. It helps so much. And if you really want to help out the channel, please share it around to all your social medias. And don't forget to check out the merch where you can buy all my albums and also some cool merch. Scott's got a shirt on from the merch as well. T-shirts, a whole bunch of fun stuff is out there. And of course, you can follow me on all the social medias at Zedlacher, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me on there, including my own website, zedlacher.com. Scott, thanks so much for putting this together and finding all those clips and having a look back laugh with you. I really enjoy recording these with you. It's fun to connect with you via Zoom on the other side of the planet and catch up a little bit and look back. Where can people check out what you've been up to, and where can they find out where they can get a hold of you?
Well, if you're interested in living in Korea, you can check out the K podcast, which is just life in Korea in general. Or you can check me out on the 10 Years Apart podcast, which looks back at the decades of the 80s and 90s and compares the two, and which decade was better.
Very cool. I wanted to ask you too. There's I've been watching YouTube videos, and these sponsored ads come up for for Korea tourism. I don't know if you're familiar. They're fascinating commercials because it's 5 dancers and they're just dancing around different cities in Korea. And have you seen these? Because I watch them all the time.
But it sounds very typical Korean.
It's like this Korean kind of pop rock kind of music and techno dance, and they're great dancers, but they dance around to all these different cities around Korea, and they're effective ads because I'm watching it going like, I got to go and visit Scott in Korea sometime. So
yeah, K-pop's obviously huge around the world now. So
yeah, that's right.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know about the tourism, coming here as a tourist. The food's good.
Yeah, I'd love to check it out someday.
Yeah, someday. Obviously,
maybe it'll be
the tourism industry probably ain't the best right now.
Not right now. No, everybody stay home. That's why we're making some videos so everybody can watch these at home. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody, and checking this out. Stay tuned, stay safe, and keep laughing here at Look Back Laughs. Boom. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys checking it out. And again, if you could share it around, man, that would help so much. And if you like the video and you want to watch some other ones, check out this one here and check out this one down here. And also, please hit that subscribe button down here and hit the bell notification, and we'll let you know when we uploaded some new talent. All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Love you, Chris Farley.